Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Tri Hayatul Luthfi, 7A Semester in Universitas Muhammadiyah Bogoraya. Okay, now I am making video for the completed the mitten text of Pragmatics. Okay, now I will explain about great maxim. Okay, the first is the maxim of quantity, where one tries to be as informative as one possible can and gives as much information as needed and no more. The second, the maxim of quality, where one tries to be truthful and does not give information that is false or that is not supported by evidence. The third, the maxim of relation, where one tries to be relevant and say things that are pertinent to the discussion. And the fourth, the maxim of manners, when one tries to be as clear, as brave, and as orderly as one can in what one says, and where one avoids obscurity and ambiguity. And the next X, the maxim stand, there may be an overlap as regards the length of what one says between the maxim of quantity, and manner. This overlap can be explained partially, if not entirely, by thinking of the maxim of quantity artificial through this approach by thinking of the maxim of quantity be in terms of units of information. In other words, if the listener needs, let us say, 5 units of information from the speaker, but get less or more than the expected number, then the speaker is breaking the maxim of quantity. However, if the speaker gives the 5 required units of information but is either too short or long-winded in conveying them to the listeners, then the maxim of manner is broken. The dividing line, however, may be rather thin or unclear, and there are times when we may say that both the maxim of quantity and quality are broken by the same factor. And the next, what are some criticism of great conversational maxim? Great conversational maxim have been criticized as the fall to recognize that cooperation within conversation is culturally determined, as with most social interactors. Great maxims are besides often expected behaviors within the Western world, and therefore cannot be applied global due to potential cultural difference. Additionally, several theories have criticized the maxim for being too vague and overly ambiguous. As a result of this ambiguity, grace maxims have frequently been misinterpreted and misrepresented as guidance to etiquette and instruction on being polite. However, this is not their intention. The maxims are only even meant to describe the commonly accepted traits of successful communication. Okay, the next. The Stand Up Comedy delivered by comic Ridwan remains at Indonesian and 2070 goals in stand-up comedy by comic Ridwan remain in Indonesia in research on from, and the objectives are presented in a table for confined understanding of data analysis and its interrelationship between on versible definition, compression, in stand-up comedy, which presented by comic Ridwan Remain at Indonesian. The following is a table of results, conclusion in the firm, and purpose of definition. The principle of cooperation in stand-up comedy in delivered by comic Ridwan. And the next, a very significant comparison does that were shown by the jury made the researcher want to examine speech acts by using great cooperative principle theory is expected to more insight into the problem featured in stand-up comedy. It was done in order to obtain appropriate research results with theory and relevant to research results previously research focused on from deviation from the principle of cooperation and study influencing factor or goals violation of the cooperation principle. Based on the background of the problem in above, several can be identified problems using mixed theory grades cooperation is followed. The first is the quantity of deviation from the principle of cooperation and the send of comedy delivered by Comic Ridwan remains season 7, which was held by Konfas TV 2017 in Indonesia. The second, the quality of deviation from the principle of cooperation in the Sound of Comedy delivered by Comic Ridwan Remain Season 7, Suci 7, which was held by Kompas TV in 2017 in Indonesia. The third, the relevance of deviation from the principle of cooperation in the Sound of Comedy delivered by Comic Ridwan Remain Season 7, which was held by Kompas TV. And the fourth, implementation of deviation from the principle of cooperation in the scene of comedy delivered by Comic Remain Session 767, which was held by Kompas TV in 2017 in Indonesia. And the last, the effect of deviation from the principle of cooperation in the scene of comedy delivered by Comic Ridwan Remain Session Suci 7, which was held by Kampus TV in Indonesia. Okay, enough the explanation from me. I hope you are understand what I what have I explanation to you. Okay, apologize me if there are mistakes. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.